Hi guys, so a while ago I actually made a video on how I like to set up my Selkirk paddles, and that was quite popular in that a lot of people reached out and said it was useful. So I'm going to show you how I like to set up my carbon paddles. I'm now a carbon affiliate. I play with these paddles for my own game. So I'm going to show you how I like to set it up, including with the Hesacore pickleball grip. They also make tennis grips too. If you haven't heard of those, they're great. I'll show you it once it's out of the packet. It allows you to basically hold the paddle more efficiently, so you don't have to squeeze as tightly, and your fingers kind of lock into these hexagons here. So I'll show you that in a sec. So I'm just going to go through the whole process. While I'm chatting, I'll cut off the plastic and what have you. So I am actually from a tennis background. I've been a tennis coach full-time for 20 plus years. So I obviously have a tennis style swing, which generally means kind of a longer swing. Like to get a lot of topspin on the shot. So I actually set my paddles up in a way that allows me to accelerate my paddle head through the ball. And I also play singles and doubles. So for singles, that's especially crucial to be able to whip the paddle through fast. So to begin with, I'm actually going to remove the original grip. And this will allow me to get on the Hesacore pickleball grip. Now, obviously, a lot of people aren't going to use those. Before I used the Hesacore grip, I actually also always removed my original factory grip because I like to play with two over grips. I do the same on my tennis racket as well. I just like the feel of having a slightly smaller grip. That might not be for you, but for me it helps accelerate and get more topspin. So I'm going to put the Hesacore grip on first, which is the most time-consuming part. And once I've got that on, I'll show you how I grip and add lead tape to weight the paddle correctly. So my extra tip for you here to make it extra easy to get the Hesacore grip on is to actually use a hairdryer. Shout out to Ed Jew, who actually demonstrated using kind of hot water where it molds the rubber, I guess it's made from, which makes it easier to get on. So I decided that I didn't want to get my paddle grip wet underneath, so I tried heating it with the blow dryer, and that actually works. And then just pull all the way down. It does have a little bit of a dubious feel about it, if you know what I'm saying. Sometimes the edge kind of gets stuck underneath, so you have to kind of pull it from there. Now, once you've got it on there, everybody's grip is obviously different depending on how you actually hold your paddle in a game. I actually use a continental grip most of the time because I come from a tennis background, and that makes it just more easy for me to kind of adjust to kind of volleys and drops and what have you using the same grip. I occasionally switch it for high volleys and ground strokes, but most of the time I'm in continental. So you want to have a little look to see where your fingers actually fit in. It is more comfortable when you're holding your grip, if your fingers actually slot into the gaps here. If they're overlapping on the edges or the creases here, it's not as comfortable. So you want to kind of twist it round to where you would be kind of holding it most of the time in that kind of comfortable grip position. And then once you've got that right, you can then place your overgrip over the top. So I'm just going to twist mine a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to test out the carbon grips, which I've not used yet. I was using up some of my old Selkirk ones. Just unwrap. It's a little bit easier to do this inside. Sometimes if it's a little bit breezy outside, you end up with like pieces and parts flying everywhere. I usually suggest to people, if you are outside, to actually stick this sticky tape just on your paddle there so it doesn't kind of blow away. It's easier to keep track of. So keep wrapping all the way around until you get to this edge, and then that's when you kind of start to move down the handle. Now, these grips are quite long. I think they're kind of a standard tennis length, so you have to kind of overlap by about 50% here, I'd say, so that you don't have too much left at the end. I mean, you can always cut it off with scissors. Just pull it tight, just make sure it's not too loose. Keep going all the way to the bottom. Now, I normally kind of fold mine like this and then just keep wrapping to make it a little bit thicker at the end. You can, as I say, cut it with scissors if you want it to be a little bit neater, but for me, because I've wrapped probably thousands of tennis and pickleball rackets in my life, I just go for the lazy option. And then once you get to the end, you just grab the tape, which is here, stick it on like so. And then just wrap it round nice and neat. And then this paddle luckily has this nice little kind of grip tape holder at the top. And there you go, looks nice and smart with the Hesacore grip. So once I've got my grip in place, I like to then obviously add my tape. So I'm going to start with the sides, which is where I like to tape for basically when you tape on the sides here, it gives you more stability. So it keeps that racket stable through the contact point. When you tape at the top, it allows you to accelerate your racket through faster, which is easier to apply spin, and it's also easier to obviously accelerate through the shot. So this is also my first time trying the carbon tape. As I say, I've been using up my old things. I might actually need to cut that. So this tape is cute. It's very short. Each one of these is 3 grams. So it's up to you how many you like to add on. I generally go with kind of a feel thing. I don't like to be very particular about certain weights because all paddles are different. Even paddle to paddle of the same brand. So I just like to go with how it feels. So I start at the bottom here, make sure it's stuck on well, because depending on the weather and the place that you live, like here in California, it's hot, so lots of the time you kind of lose your stickiness on your lead tape. So I'm going to start by putting 2 on, because as I say, I'm being experimental with this, because this is not the usual kind of tape that I use. So I'm going to start with 2. Normally I tape from here to about here, but because these pieces are a little bit heavier, I'm actually going to experiment by just placing 2 on for now, and then I can compare it to my other paddle, which is taped about 1/3 of the way around. So I'm going to apply 2 to the other side, exactly the same spot. Again, making sure it's pushed on well, because they do tend to come off in the hot weather. So I've got those 2 on there and 2 on this side, and now I'm going to add, I think 2 to the top, maybe even 3. Just because for me it's more important to have that paddle head speed. So I think I'll go for 3 just to experiment. And then I'll do kind of an updated video if it's not worked out for me like this. So I'm going to place the first one right in the middle, and then another two kind of evenly spaced out. Okay, so I've got my lead tape on there. One little tip is, depending on the kind of brand of lead tape you use, most of them have got kind of a sticky cover on like that. But if you're using pure lead tape, do make sure you wash your hands after and don't put it in your mouth. A lot of people don't realize how poisonous lead is. So yeah, make sure you wash your hands. So now I've got those on, I'm going to put the edge protector on. Now, you don't have to do this, but again, it's something I prefer to do, so I'm not kind of touching the lead tape all the time. And it also obviously helps the longevity of your paddle. These are nice carbon ones, white, so it should match my nice white grip and look very snazzy. So these are pretty self-explanatory. You peel off the edge, it's kind of like an overgrip. And because I've not used these before, I'm going to start in the middle with that carbon logo to make sure I've got it centered properly, and then we'll see what happens. This could go drastically wrong. So let's see. Here we go. So right in the middle. And then just, again, you have to make sure that you stick it down firmly because they unstick. It's all the way down there. And the same on the other side. And I guess this has got these little edges so you can stick it round more easily. Definitely makes it easier. I've used some other kinds of edge guard where it doesn't kind of stick around the edges very well, so this is actually a nice one. Now you can actually save 10% on all of these products in my bio. Carbon is not sponsoring this video, nor the Hesacore, but I am an affiliate, so I will make some commission, which is helpful when it comes to kind of making videos and taking that time to make videos. So feel free to use my link. I'll put that below in the comments. As I say, you can save 10% on carbon and 10% on the Hesacore grip. So there is the final product. Looking very comfy with my Hesacore grip and the tape. So give it a try. I mean, this is my personal favorite setup. I've tried all sorts and I've experimented with, you know, just tape on the bottom, just tape on the top. And I just feel that this is, for me, the most comfortable all-round way to actually set my paddle up. I hope that's helpful. Give it a try or give me any feedback for any videos you'd like to see, and let me know if that worked out for you.